Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is my 1.8 Feed the Beast Unstable playthrough. Again, my name is Damien Oliver. Thank you for joining my channel. Now, for those of you who have been watching me, you probably noticed that every now and then my series here kind of stutters. And that's largely because this Unstable pack is, well, unstable. As you can tell, my base, which is mainly made out of carpenter blocks, is now a bit of a mess. It seems that the latest version, which is 0.23, I think it is, seems to have a couple of issues with it. So, yeah. On the right side, I think this is salvageable because I know I made a backup of when I did the install. So if necessary, I can back up to a different save date. But I think first I'm going to try to reinstall this version and see if something just got messed up in the install version. So I will hopefully be back in just a moment. Oh, welcome back, everybody. As you can see, my base is now back to normal. Unfortunately, I did have to downgrade a version. It looks like that was just an error with 0.23. So, yeah, everything's back to normal. A couple things to note here. Well, really only one thing to note is it seems that the Hellfire Forge got a texture upgrade. And as you can see there, it does say push I for more info. That's just the in-game wiki, which doesn't actually have anything with Blood Magic yet. But it does look like Thaumcraft and everything is getting more up to shape. In fact, it almost looks completely done as far as I can tell. And Hydraulic Crafts still has a few things that need to be worked on. But today I'm going to get back started with some of the building we were doing. So I already showed you guys my altar. I got everything mapped out here. Hello, Mr. Spider. And first of all, let's go over a little bit of blood magic here first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my dagger. And this here is the blood altar. For those of you who don't know, the blood altar does have a little bit of an internal tank, which I've already filled up, so we don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to show you how to make these blank runes here. Basically, you just need some stone and some blank slates. But, oops, helps if I type correctly. So here's blank rune. Like I said, just some stones. You do need the weak blood orb, which you need to put a diamond in here, and you need to have 200 LP. Well, what's LP? That's life points, and basically you sacrifice your health to gain those. For reference, the blank slates are also need LP, and they need 1,000. So you need twice as much blood for blank slate as you do for the other one. So what happens? Well, first of all, you fill up your altar. You fill up the internal tank, which sometimes is a little bit deceiving. It takes a while for it to, settle in. But once you do, then you just right-click, and it just took away full heart of damage. In doing so, it doesn't really show it to you right now, but it gives you about 200 LP. So if I do that 1, 2, 3, and 4, I should now have 1,000 LP in there. So I put in a blank stone here, and you can see that the blood is going to slowly start decreasing, or rapidly decrease in some cases, but then you get your blank slate. And since I didn't have anything in there before, I'm now back to 0. With these runes, some of them, like the rune of self-sacrifice, there we go. That one's a little bit further down the way, but if I had that around my rune where these blank runes are, it alters some of the effects of the altar. So with a couple of those runes, I could get 300 or 400 LP from us every time I cut myself. generally not an activity I like doing, so we'll see if we can find some alternative means later on. As you can see, I got a little bit of food, thankfully. Steak is a good option for dealing with blood magic because it has a high saturation count, but really just about any food will do. Just got to remember, you only regenerate when you have, 8.5 ham shanks left. If you get the 8 shanks, you're not actually regenerating anymore. But this is still the same setup. I haven't figured out if I want to move it yet or not, but I have been going to work on those redwood logs I got the last episode. And as you can see, I got quite a few now. In fact, I've already filled up 2 whole drawers full of charcoal now. So I'm pretty much set as far as charcoal is concerned. Let's see here. So I want to do one more thing with blood magic, and that is to create an item which I think is fairly new. It's called the Coat of Arms. And basically what that is it's kind of like a chest piece. It doesn't really give you a whole lot of damage protection or anything like that. I mean, I think it does give you 5, so that's a little bit more than a leather tunic. Probably, iron, maybe gold, somewhere in there. But what we're going to do with this is every time I kill a monster with this, it fills up a reservoir inside the suit. And then I can use that suit to fill up my altar instead of, draining myself. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. I don't know. I don't think red's really my color. So let's go check out a couple other options here. One of the problems I notice, especially when I'm using my wand, is there's not a whole lot of V in the area, or Viz, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, if you take a look, we got plenty of water, which makes sense because we got a water one right there. And I think there's another one over here. Still no node in that tree, which is kind of annoying. But we also got an order one right there, which explains why we had so much ordo. And I think we got a fire just over in that desert over there. But we don't have a lot of the entropy, air, or earth ones. And that's kind of biting us because my the one caps I do have take a lot of that V's. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on getting some enchanted fabric, which is just, wool, some string. It's not difficult. It does require about 5 of each aspect, but since I have the gold caps, I get a small discount. Actually, I'm going to leave that in there. No, I'm going to charge it up, actually. And as you can see, I already got some more. That is quite a bit of wool, since, I don't have a source of string right now, so I've been pulverizing wool to get it. You can do that in electric crusher, grinder, the pulver. You can get it in the crucible. Yeah, just about anything you got there. So, let's see here. I know we already have a chest, but we're going to grab another one. You can see here's the Thaumcraft robe, and that's as much protection as the leather vest, but it does give us a 2% B discount. And that's the leggings. So we now have some pants. Yay. Oops. It doesn't look too bad, all things considered. Only downside is I apparently did not get enough fabric to make the boots. So let's go take a nap. Then I can show you what I did to kind of fix that. Okay. So I just kind of made a little secluded nook here. Got a small family of sheep. And the recipe really doesn't care what color the wool is, which is nice. So we can just take, that's still not enough, but it'll get us a better start. Remember, as long as they have some grass down there, they'll regain their wool. And I might actually extend it out a little bit later, and I don't know, make something of a small ranch down there. We'll see. But this is my pulver, and remember, this can have a maximum of 2 upgrade slots. So this is still using the same amount of fuel as 2 items would. Well, with the efficiency items, but it can do things 3 times as fast, which is kind of nice. So if I go over here and grab some oak logs, I can stick that in this one, and it's taking care of all those. And since I had it automatically split, we're all good there. This one still has a bonus upgrade in it, so sometimes I get the occasional bonus charcoal, but that doesn't happen often because I only can't afford 1 upgrade. I've only found 1 emerald. So it's only a like 6% fuel increase, or 6% chance. Yeah, that's it. So let's go upstairs real quick. And then I'm going to show you what I want to try to do to take care of the... actually, I do have enough now. Didn't realize I had that extra piece of fabric in there. One more moment. But in a moment, I'll take you outside and show you hopefully what is going to fix that emerald problem. By the way, just as a friendly reminder, every time you upgrade or change a version with Biomes of Plenty installed, Unstable does not have that as a recommended mod, so you have to re-enable it each time. I bring this up because twice now I've upgraded my game now, and my trees have just disappeared, which admittedly is not the end of the world. But like I said, that redwood tree is a massive supply of wood and charcoal, so you kind of want to keep that. Okay, so now that I got the full thaumaturgist robe, I want to try out something that is coming with the random things mod. Here should be good. Just for reference, I am 1 block below the redwoods. Yeah, that's always up there. This is sometimes a bit of a pain to climb up, but you want to make sure you aim for the center as much as possible because, falling from this height would be really bad. Again, shift holds your spot, so you can kind of start looking around, but as you can see, I'm in the cloud layer. And yeah, I can't see the tree. So, break this. Doesn't really seem to be a tool for this, so hopefully a fist will do it. And voila! We suddenly have a whole lot of things that just dropped for us. So now we drop back down, and I hope... Oh, okay. Apparently that was not the cloud layer. This is one of the mods that gives us random events every now and then, so apparently that was a fog. if you remember right, we don't have rain over in the deserts, but I've seen it do a sandstorm over there once. So let's take a look here. We got 14 gold and 2 diamond out of that. I was kind of hoping for an emerald, but you know, we might still have, or correction, we do have 2 other beans. I just want to make sure there's no more emeralds here on the ground. And remember, these magic beans can only be found in chests. You cannot make these. Kind of want to see how big this is compared to the redwoods. Oh, much taller. Much taller. But I'm pretty sure this is a reference to like Jack and the Beanstalk. So I kind of wish this, like, you could use this to go to another dimension or something like that. I mean, it's quite possible that you can. I just haven't found it yet. But it would be something kind of interesting. And there's our emeralds. So we got 2 emeralds, 1 diamond, and 13 gold, and a whole lot of iron. Like 23, I think. I don't think I had any on me before. And 1 more. Yeah, this is way above the tree. Looks like I was still growing as I was climbing up. But yeah, we're at 253 right now, which maximum build height is 255. So yeah, be very careful when you're descending from this. Because if you don't have creative flight and you're not hugging the vine, it could get really bad really fast. So another emerald, I think 1 diamond, about 10 gold, another 12 iron, give or take. Not bad, all things considered. But let's see here. I want to make a couple more of those because I'm sure I have enough lapis to do that. We do have RF tools in here, which I think we had before, but I think it's, you know, constantly being upgraded. That is like one of the biggest storage drawer upgrades you can get. I'm not really sure you need 13 chests in 1 block, but you know, it is something. That spawner relocator could be potentially useful, but I'm not sure if I want to spend an emerald on it now. So what I think I'll do is I will do the bonus upgrades. So I got 3 emeralds, need 9 lapis. There is some sort of mouse tweaks mod in this one. I'm not sure I particularly like it, but it works. Going to need 3 iron. Yeah, you see I rolled my mouse 3 times. I should have got 3 bars down there, but now I somehow split my bar in half. And I'm going to need 12 clay. Yeah, I'll take the whole stack. Doesn't hurt. And there we go. So let's take a look at this here. If we take out one of them, we're at 45%. Actually, tell you what, let's do this better. I'll take out the efficiency upgrades. So if we add one in, we're now at 140%. So one upgrade is an extra 40% of fuel. That means 4 of them is, yeah, about an extra 160% plus the normal. So it's not cheap. Even if we put in all the efficiency upgrades in there, that means we're still consuming about 120% of normal fuel. But we get an extra 25% to get, you know, a third ore or whatever the case is. With iron, yeah, I got plenty of iron already. I'm not going to deny that. But with gold, that could be really useful. Let's just do a test here. Actually, I want to test to see if the lead ore has been fixed yet, too. Oh, it looks like I had some wool already. Oh well. So I'm going to take my iron out, stick that in there. And let's take, I don't need those, I need you guys. Let's take about half, stick that in there, and put on the multiplier. And while that's cooking up, we know there's no iron in the chest right now. I want to get started on Botania. So to get started on Botania, we need 2 things really. One is going to be the petal apothecary, which needs a petal, some cobblestone slabs, and some cobblestone. I don't think I have any cobblestone. Fixed. And I'm going to need those white feathers, even though I didn't want that right now. And these tall mystical black flowers you can find out in the wild, but you can't harvest them unless you have some shears. You can get the normal ones though, no problem. The difference is the tall ones give you 4 petals, while the normal ones only give you 2. So we'll use the tall one there. Actually, no, we won't. We'll get some slabs first. Put the slabs there. Cobblestone there. There we go. We got the petal apothecary. And Thaumcraft has something that's kind of nice and interacts with that pretty nicely too. We'll have to see if we can create that later. I did get the research for that, and I'll go over that in a moment. The other thing we need is Botania's instruction manual, Lexicon Botania, which is basically a book and any sapling, and I want to say most vegetables and stuff will work too. As you can tell, thanks to Biomes of Planet, we got quite a lot of saplings in here. Way too many saplings. Okay, we cycled through several wood before, so I think I might have been wrong with the vegetables. But any sapling should do. And I know I had a book in here somewhere. Okay, correction, oh, it's in my hand, of course. And any old sapling will do. Okay, so we got the Lexicon Botania. Like the Thaumcraft, it's a book. Yeah, as you can kind of read through this here, but it's not terribly hard, all things considered. As it says here, despite its looks, it is in essence a tech mod. Many people consider it a magic mod, but I mean, it's really a bunch of math. A lot of math you can't see, but it is a bunch of math. It's also one of the mods that it's like Thaumcraft, you can kind of automate that to an extent, but like if you're using the Essentia furnace too much, you start polluting the air, so you don't really want to do that. You kind of want to do as needed. With Botania, there's no such problem with automating things, so like I said, it is kind of a tech mod. With very few examples, everything in this mod is fully automatable using Minecraft and its features exclusively. So yeah, it means you want to automate things. That being said, if you don't really like all of the machines laying around and you kind of want to be more of a druid, this is probably the mod for you. To my knowledge, it does not have any sort of ore doubling or anything like that, but besides that, it has just about everything that you need, including, you know, searchable inventories, an energy system, ways of moving things, so on and so forth. And it has quite a few good accessories and bubbles too. Vazki is the mod author, as it says right there, and I think he made a couple other mods in this one too. I think Psy is his latest one, which everybody's pretty excited about. Yeah, they had an in-game video. It had to be removed. Yeah, but basically you can find out most of the stuff through here. So to really get started with Botania, first what we're going to do is, it's dark out right now. Okay, so first of all, what we're really going to do is we're going to go upstairs and take care of that spider that's there with our new pack on, the coat of arms. So I can test to see if the life point system works. Which I don't see any reason why it shouldn't, but... Okay, yeah, it gave me about 303 LP. So just for reference, Blood Magic has 2 different chest armors like this. Like I said, the coat of arms fills up as I kill things. It's basically soaking up the blood of my enemies. The Bloodletter's pack is the other one that looks very similar, and I believe even has a similar recipe. Yeah, it's just iron versus flint. The difference is the Bloodletter's pack basically damages your health anytime you're over half, and then fills the pack that way. So it's, sacrificing your blood versus sacrificing others' blood. Incidentally, this is basically the 2 main ways of filling up a blood altar, so that does make a certain amount of sense. Let me clean up my inventory here just a little bit. I know I have a door on me. Oh wait, yes I do. I was trying to use a door on the sheep farm down there, and I decided against it because it didn't seem grass was getting in underneath of it. So let's see here. For the time being, I'll put you, you. And then I'll come over here and just dump the rest of it. And see how much that fills up my inventory, or cleans up? Whoops. That's taking up quite a bit of fuel. But as you can see, we got, 14 extra dust so far out of that. Nope, lead ore still does not work in that. Okay. And now let's take that out of there and put that there. Just occurs to me I'm going to have to make 2 trips. So I'll come out here and get some water, and I'll be back in a moment, folks. Okay, welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we're back in the base, and I had taken the liberty of, punching out a hole here to make an unlimited water source. It's just, 2x2 source blocks. And to get started with Botania, what you really need to do is you need to get a petal apothecary. You need to fill it full of water. Then you need to get some mystical flowers, specifically the white ones, and craft them in any grid. And you get 2 sets of petals. Actually, I'm forgetting something. So you also need two seeds. I think any sort of seeds will do, but I know for a fact that the wheat seeds do work. I have a feeling I just lost like half a stack of seeds or something, but oh well. It's not like I have a shortage of them by any means. So fill it full of water. Just grab a bucket, right-click on it with water. You want to make sure you're actually clicking on the stone itself. Otherwise, you will put on top, and then you got mess everywhere. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you can kind of see you got the right ones in there. It'll even give you a little tooltip that says if you add seeds, you get a flower. So there you go. Then I'm going to refill it because 2 of these flowers are kind of nice to have. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. So these are pure daisies. What do? Well, they kind of get you started. They're not, particularly special, but like I said, they get you started at least. That inventory mod. Fine. We'll do this the hard way. Again, this is something you don't need to do during the night, but it helps if you do it during the day. So I'm going to go back outside the closest to the one I had the apothecary on. Ooh, chance to get some LP. And while I was gathering things, I took the liberty of experimenting a little bit. You can see my coat of arms now has a lot more LP involved. It seems to be based off the number of hearts that the monster has, which does make a certain amount of sense. So I didn't get a whole lot for that zombie right there. I think I only got like 50 for him. But I did go around exploring. I did find out for sure that the Thaumcraft wands do count, even though they're ranged weapons. So I'm assuming that the bow and arrow and other ranged weapons will work as well. And they do also work on passive mobs, which kind of explains my beef and leather here. So yeah, just about anything you can kill, no matter how you kill it, gives you LP. And like I said, I think it's based on the number of hearts that you deal, so I'm not sure whether or not you actually have to kill or if you can just wound and run away if you really want. But we will set these out here. And just so you know, there is a limited degree of Botania and Thaumcraft interaction. I'm not sure how well it is right now since both of them are on, separate systems and the like. I mean, both of them have just had major upgrades and just going up to 8.9. But they did have a bit of interaction before, and I believe it was yeah, whatever that was. Yeah, okay. Everything else seems to be fine. Okay, yeah, there we go. You got the Botania and Thaumcraft interaction here. Yeah, as you can see here, they got the interaction with warp, but you don't really know what it does. It's kind of hidden here. I believe there's something to do with the taint too. There we go. Mana helms, which I'll get to later, and the goggles of revealing can be combined. Still get a discount and beast cost, I believe. Oh no, I'm sorry, the vis cost is lost, so you lose the vis cost of the goggles of revealing, which I think is like the biggest armor piece that gives you the most discount, so that's kind of annoying, but you know, whatever. There is a way of getting inscribing tools that use mana instead of ink. I'll show you more what mana is later. That will probably be next episode, actually. But and I think a lot of the cosmetic items, like the glimmering flowers, the floating flowers, and the pylons, all reduce instability and fusion altar, which again we haven't gotten to. And I think in the past, these pure daisies used to fight off the taint, or at least halt it, I think. Which was kind of useful in some mods packs that dealt a lot with the, you know, invasive taints and like. I'm getting ahead of myself. Or actually, I'm getting off topic. So we got the pure daisies. What these are for is you just push down blocks of stone or logs. These have to be logs, not planks. And it can be any log. It has to be smooth stone or it has to be a log. It only works on the regular stone. Like I said, any log will work. And then you just give it a couple moments. It seems longer than I remember it being. Let me double check that to make sure they didn't mess with that recipe. One of the nice things about the lexicon, oh, there it goes. One of the nice things about the lexicon katana, though, is if you have it in your hand, you can shift click on or shift right click on something, and it'll open straight up to that page. I guess it takes a full minute now for it to work. But it opens up straight to that page so you can go straight to it. And if you do it on something like a normal log or something from vanilla Minecraft, it will try to go out there and find the wiki information for that page. Oops. Huh. Did not intend to take up the plant with it. I'll have to get a normal axe or something. You can break these by hand too, it doesn't matter. So, that's going to be our start. I'll get more into what those are later after I get a little bit more items prepared. But something else I got prepared here. You get one petal, and then by wool, you get a flower pouch. And the flower pouch is nice because, well, as the name suggests, it holds all your flowers. Any flowers that you have will do. I don't think it does the tall ones, and I know it does not do any petals. So if I grab all these, it does have to be a Botania flower. Minecraft flowers and other mods don't work, unfortunately. No, inventory's full. Yeah, so petals don't work. And the other thing I wanted to show you today before we wrap up, well, actually I got a couple of things I want to show you. Right now I'm just, you know, taking a bucket of water, putting it in there. It's not exactly a neat solution, considering I had to punch out some floors tiles there. But Thaumcraft does have an alternative. Here in Alchemy, yeah. And after you unlock Alchemical Duplication, which is one of those ones that just takes XP to unlock, so really you just have to do the puzzle for the Tallow and then for the Everfull Urn. The Everfull Urn is a pretty simple block. It's a 1x1 block that has basically unlimited water in it. And it will automatically replenish any liquid containers within 2 blocks of it. That includes the Botania thing up here. And I think I'm also going to use it to try to fill up the hydraulic craft, because all of these require a certain amount of water from these pumps here. And if you have 2 options. You can use water, or you can use the hydraulic oil. You can't use the hydraulic oil right off the bat, though. That actually takes a little bit of infrastructure to get going. But you can use water instead, but water tends to leak. So you have to keep it constantly replenished. And I think if I use a Everfull Urn with a tank, like any one of these, or even this tank here should work, then I can just keep on pumping water out of those into the system. So that's one thing it's useful for. You also can use it for the pedal carry, like I said. And I think its primary use was actually meant to be used with the cauldrons, which, if you remember correctly, we had to fill the cauldrons full of water. This one, or sorry, the crucibles had to be filled with water. Now this one here doesn't, because it got the thaumatorium on top of it. But if you're doing your vanilla alchemy, that's a good way of doing it. Let's see here. But there are a couple other things to share. I don't know why I'm bouncing up and down. I don't need to go downstairs, so let's just stay here for now. I haven't really done anything else on this tree yet, seeing how we got most of it. Well, correction, we only got about half of it done so far. There are a couple of things we could go through. These two over here are kind of nice with the whole Essentia making aspects. This one is just a solid form, which is useful for storing things inside of a chest instead of jars, but you still have to melt it down later. And this one here can break the complex Essentia down into more basic forms, which can be nice, especially for those Essentia you don't really use a whole lot of. We do got a couple more here. This deals with metal. Metal purification is basically metal or ore multiplication. And metal transformation is, well, just that. It transforms one metal into another. But it only does it in forms of nuggets, and you do need Essentia for each of it. So it can be a little bit expensive, especially since they're not always easy to find at Essentia. That one there is another special one, but it's forbidden, so I haven't done it yet, because that's actually moderate. That's more than anything else I've done so far. I will want to get into forbidden knowledge later, but that's later. So let's take a look here. The only thing I think I did on... No, correction, there's 2 things I did on this one. One being... Actually, I want to share these. In case you missed my other video, these were unlocked by scanning a bow and an arrow. So you do have to do a little bit of scanning in Thaumcraft 5, but not a whole lot. But if I haven't really got to Infusion yet, so you guys haven't really seen this on my series, but if you have seen Infusion on other series, I have unlocked the Infusion Boosting, which is a new system. Basically unlocks 2 new types of stone. One increases the speed of infusion, but has a slight decrease to cost, or slight increase to cost. While the other one decreases the cost, but it makes it go longer. Both of these are kind of good and kind of bad. The Essentia cost is pretty obvious. Unfortunately, I don't have any numbers, so I can't tell you how good they are, but I do know the numbers are out there, so you can Google them. The Essentia Speedstone is a different story. It does increase the cost of it, but the thing is anytime you have an unstable infusion, you want it to get done as soon as possible, because not only is the longer it goes on, not only does that mean it takes up more essentia, but it also means that you have that much more chance of something going wrong, like an item being destroyed or an explosion going off. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong with infusion, but they're pretty easy to make. The only issue is the block of diamond, and the arcane stone is not hard. But basically what you do is during your normal infusion setup, you have these 4 pillars. And basically those infusion stones go to block underneath these pillars. Fortunately, unlike the rest of the infusions, they don't have to be symmetrical, so you don't have to worry about that. If you got 1 on this side and 1 over here, but none on that side, that's fine. The other thing I researched was the Thaumcraft, which, yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And I will try to make some of those later. The only problem is it does cost a goggle revealing, which, you know, is 2 gold times 2, so that's 6 gold for this recipe. Which, considering all the gold we just got from the means, isn't a big deal, but, you know, it's a bit annoying. But basically what this is it puts down a block in your world, and when you put in a shard, it gives you kind of like a holographic map showing the level of that element's V's in the area. So I might try using that to find more of the V's that I'm missing, and see if maybe I can move some of those. Because if you look at my Earth, that's really hurting. And I'm going to want Earth eventually anyways, because of, well, there's 2 basic ways of automating mining in this right now. One is Thaumcraft and one is Buildcraft, as far as I know. So, yeah, I don't really want to shoot yourself in the foot. Plus, I really like the mining focus. Yeah. The other thing, I got 2 other things to cover here. One I want to cover real quick was I found that if you scan nodes, sometimes they give you extra pages here. So I scanned an unstable node, and basically every now and then it will it keeps the same amount of V's as it has normally in it, but every now and then it will randomly change what element it has. So it can be useful if you have an area that's low on V's and you can't find the right node, but only like 1 out of 6 times if you're lucky, because it is random. I know unstable nodes used to cause some tank too. I'm not sure if they do in this system or not. But I really need to stop hitting escape. Sorry about that. We can also, I think I've already covered this, but we can also grow nodes too, but then we got to use Salus Mundus to do that, which is a balance shard each. Yeah, okay. So the other thing I want to cover is here in the Thaumaturgy, we got 2 new 1 cores. One is the Silverwood 1 core, which is basically the same thing as Greatwood 1 core, but bigger. It does require an infusion to make it, which is unfortunate. It also requires a balance shard, which, again, is unfortunate. And that one is one with the moderate instability, so that's one of those things you kind of want done as quickly as you can, but this doesn't have a whole lot of essentia, really, compared to some recipes, so it's not terrible. I also found the Elemental 1 cores, which there's a couple of different 1 cores here, and I might have to rely on these eventually. especially if I can't find a proper node. But basically what it is it just uses different mundane materials. Well, I'm not sure if you call it blaze rod mundane, but uses them for wand cores. They each do require a balance shard again, but they're not, hard to get, and they're not hard to infuse either. But basically what happens is each one has a corresponding shard to it, like the order shard or the water shard. You get the idea. And whenever the wand gets below 50% of its current Vs, it will try not only to get the mana from, or the Vs from the nearby aura, if there is any, but it will actually start replenishing some by itself. So you won't have to rely on nodes being in the area. So like I said, I might have to rely on these later. We'll have to see. Bone, so bone, quartz, ice, obsidian, blaze, and reeds. None of them are particularly hard to get. The blaze rod might be a pain, but the others are pretty easy. And there's a couple other, there's 3 new things I want to cover here. These are all 3 new researches to Thaumcraft, so if you haven't seen somebody else's tutorial on these yet, you might want to pay attention. This one is basic aura manipulation. Basically what it is you can create a totem, like, a totem pole. And basically this one here is the totem of dispersal. And basically what it does is you can put it up on a series of poles if you want, or you can just put it on the ground. It doesn't matter. I think the more poles you have on it, it has the greater effect. But then you put a shard of whatever type in it, and then you get this one will push that particular aura away from it. This is really great when you have tainted, or you can get tainted shards, because then you can get the taint out of your area. And like I said, you do have a couple poles here. So you got the totem pole inner, and you got the totem pole outer. And basically, that increases the amount that you have, that it's effective. So if you have, let me figure out a way to describe this here. The totem by itself will affect a 5 by 5 area. Basically this chunk right here. And basically what it does is it takes the, it is a 3 by 3 area. It basically takes the chunk that has the totem in it, pushes all of that aspect out into the chunks outside of that area. Well, if you have the inner chunk, then if you have an inner pole, that increases from the one chunk that it normally affects to all 3 of these. So the inner pole with dispersal will take all of that essentia out of these 9 ones and try to push it to the next row out. And if you have the outer pole, that increases how far out it goes. So if you have one inner pole, you're taking all the stuff in this area and pushing it to just this first row. But if you get an outer pole, then it's going to all these areas here. So it kind of disperses the effect. That's something that might be a little bit easier to see once I have the Pulma and everything set up too. The only problem is it requires the Wispy Essence, which, as far as I know, the only way to get Wispy Essence is to kill wisps, or I think you can get them by destroying nodes, which is not something you generally want to do, but if you get a really bad node, you might have to do that. And of course it needs Salus Mundus and a balance shard, so essentially 2 different balance shards. But the rest of it isn't hard. The other one we got is the Totem of Attraction, which is kind of the opposite. Where you put one shard in the Totem Repulsion, it pushes all that essentia away. This one tries to draw all the essentia from the nearby chunks and draws it in to the chunk this one's into. Again, this can be really good if you use in conjunction with that other pull, because you can draw all your choice essentially into the area, while at the same time you can try to push all of the taint that you're creating out of your area. And finally, we got the stabilizing pull, which is another pull, but basically reduces the chance of flux being created when you do the whole drawing effect. So, yeah, I think that's all for a Thaumcraft update. I'm going to kind of cut it off here. I want to get a couple of petals and stuff ready so that we can get started on a little bit of mana generation with Botania. And I want to maybe get started on making my infusion matrix, which is basically what's holding me back in Thaumcraft right now. It's not hard, just resource intensive. Oh, I forgot about that tab. Okay, so the infusion matrix, like I said, is not hard, just resource intensive. You get it by some arcane stone bricks, which are just arcane stone, which are 8 stones surrounded by a shard. I think if once Auto Magic gets updated, it'll be kind of nice because they have a reduced cost version of this that gives you about the same amount of arcane stone for like 25% off. But like I said, I don't think that's been updated yet. But yeah, the matrix is not hard. It used to require an ender pearl, which I'm kind of glad they took that out. But the rest of it just requires a bunch of the arcane stone, so I need quite a few shards for everything. I just remembered something else I wanted to talk to you guys about, like not 2 minutes ago. I can't remember what it is. 1 second. Sometimes it's really useful to go back to your previous recording and figure out what you just said, not 5 minutes ago. So we got this tab over here. Normally, to get that tab, you need to have what's called an Eldritch Epiphany, which requires you to have a certain amount of the warp on you, the insanity stuff. But there is another way to at least get it open. I can't make a whole lot of progress into it until I get that epiphany. But there are some people out there called the Crimson Cult. They have, Knights of the Crimson Cult, they have Warriors of the Crimson Cult, and so on and so forth. When you kill one of them, sometimes they drop this Crimson Rites book. All you have to do is click on it, study it, and you're done. But that opens up the Eldritch Epiphany tab, if you didn't already have it. And that gives you a couple more options, which I haven't gone into yet. Yeah, no, I haven't done any of these yet. But, yeah, this one here, I don't know why it says Forbidden Knowledge when it has it unlocked already, but that's just me. It basically just tells you a little bit of a background story with the Crimson Cult. It also tells you about the Appearance Oculus, which is actually a way to Thaumcraft's endgame dungeon, but it doesn't tell you how to do that yet. But it does introduce a new form of metal which has its uses. I think it's like not as strong as, I want to say it's the same strength as iron, whereas Thaumium is a little bit stronger. But I believe the void metal actually self-repairs itself a little bit. And a lot of the in-game items require void metal. You got the sanity checker, and then you got the one focused and staff core of the primal. Personally, I think this one should actually still be hidden because I haven't unlocked anything with staff cores yet, so I don't know why that would be, even available yet. But that's just me. So, yeah, I think that's everything in terms of progress. You guys have already seen this. You guys seen that over there. So yeah, like I said, next time we'll get going on a little bit of mana generating flora. We'll get started on it at least. I want to. Well, I'll show you some of the passive ones, but I want to get into the more active ones because the passive ones are not a long-term situation, and I'll explain why in the next episode. I want to see if I can get on with the Thaumcraft matrix, or the infusion matrix, excuse me. And there's a little bit of blood magic with that altar over here I want to get started on. This is mainly, whereas the blood altar is crafting stuff by infusing it with your blood. This one here mainly uses the wheel of monsters you slay to power it, which makes it really good with the coat of arms because you're getting life points for killing them anyway. Why not get their will at the same time? But yeah, so I guess that will do it for now. I hope all of you enjoyed the video, and if you do, share a like, make a comment. If you have any suggestions, let me know. This is still fairly cutting edge, and a lot of it doesn't have documentation yet, so like I said, if you have any hints, let me know. Have a good one.